The Great Hyperspace War was a war fought between the Galactic Republic and the Sith Empire in 5000 BBY. The conflict encompassed the entire Galactic Republic, though the main forces focused their attention on 3 Republic worlds and later took the war to the remote star system Primus Golud and the Sith mausoleum world of Korriban. After it overcame the initial shock of the Sith invasion, the Republic's armadas regrouped and annihilated the Sith Empire, forcing the Sith Lord Nagasado to exile himself to Yavin 4. After their defeat at the end of the 100-Year Darkness, the exiled Dark Jedi discovered the world of Korriban, where they conquered the red-skinned Sith species. In time, the Dark Jedi and the remarkably Force-sensitive Sith natives interbred through the use of Sith alchemy and became one people. The United Sith formed an immensely rich and powerful empire built upon sorcery and dark side-fueled technology. Over the centuries, the Dark Jedi exiles were forgotten by the Galactic Republic, as were all records of the Republic also lost by the Sith. The 2 civilizations thrived in isolation, each ignorant of the other. During the height of the Sith Empire, 2 Republic hyperspace explorers stumbled upon the Sith mausoleum planet of Korriban by chance. The siblings, Gav and Jory Daragan, hoped to discover a lucrative new hyperspace route that would help them pay off their enormous debts. After stealing back their impounded ship Starbreaker 12, they dialed random coordinates into their nav computer and entered hyperspace, trusting in their luck, that is, untrained force potential, to survive the journey. Their arrival on Korriban coincided with the death of the greatest Dark Lord at the time, Marka Ragnos. The 2 challengers for his crown, Viceroy of Ka-Xian Naga Sadao and Ludo Kresh, were in the midst of a duel for mastery on the threshold of his tomb when the Daragans descended from orbit. Upon landing, Gav and Jory were immediately captured and brought to the icy Sith capital world of Ziost for interrogation. After learning of the Forgotten Republic, a conclave of the Sith Lords led by Kresh declared them spies and sentenced them to death. But Nagasado disagreed. He dreamed of vast new territories to conquer for the Empire. With the aid of his alchemically modified Massassi warriors, he masterminded the Daragans' escape and planted evidence that they had been rescued by Republic agents. Sadao moved the Daragans to his personal fortress on Ka-Xian, pretending he was their ally, while simultaneously using their supposed escape to galvanize the Sith Lords into a war against the Republic. Keeping the siblings separated, he began to teach Gav Sith sorcery, even as he made excuses to keep his sister Jory from returning to Republic space. Kresh soon discovered Sadao's subterfuge and marshaled his followers to attack Sadao's fortress. When Kresh's fleet arrived, Sadao advised Jory to flee from the battle without her absent brother and to warn the Republic of the impending invasion, but all had transpired as Sadao had planned. Once Jory made the jump to light speed, he unleashed a massive force that he had previously withheld and soundly defeated Kresh, whose flagship was destroyed in the engagement. With his competition presumably dead, Sadao united the military forces of the Empire and crowned himself Dark Lord of the Sith. Following the homing beacon he had placed aboard the Starbreaker 12, Sadao began his invasion of the Galactic Republic. Meanwhile, after numerous delays, Jory managed to deliver a warning to Empress Teta of the Koros system. The skeptical Empress eventually followed the advice of her Jedi counselor Mehmet Nadil and that of his companions Odin and Master Uru. She alerted Coruscant to the impending invasion, but few heeded her warnings. Sadao made his base at the Primus Golud at the Corwood end of the Daragan Trail and deployed his fleets to invade numerous Republic worlds simultaneously. Sadao knew he could not defeat the much larger Republic Navy, and so relied on surprise and rapid early victories to carry the day. He positioned his eye-shaped meditation sphere near the red giant star Primus Golud and used battle meditation to aid his forces in the field. The ferocity of the Sith invasion would swiftly overwhelm the lax Republic Navy. Passing the Primus Golud, Gav Daragan was given command of the Koros Major Invasion Fleet. When Gav arrived in his home system, a significant battle ensued, and the Sith successfully established a foothold in the system. Sadow proclaimed Gav the liberator of his home system, and using the Koros trunk line, attacked Caecilius and the Foros shipyards. Moving up the trade routes, the Sith, under the command of Shah Dakhan, Sadow's chief lieutenant, attacked Coruscant itself, landing at the legislative district and reached the Senate Hall, where they encountered Jedi defenders. Other parts of the fleet went to Metelos, Basilisk, and Shorkan. During the fighting at Koros Major, Gav searched for his sister at Arba, the Hutt starship repair dock, flanked by a host of Massassi bodyguards. Arba, a close family friend, was struck down by his guards just moments before Jory entered the chamber. Thinking Gav had killed Arba, she attacked her brother with a lightsaber given to her by Odin Gav fled from his sister and returned to his master at Primus Golud. Without their commander, the Sith forces on Koros fell into disarray and were defeated. Upon arrival at Primus Golud, Gav opened fire on Sadow's meditation sphere, breaking the Sith Lord's concentration upon the distant invasion of Coruscant, thereby allowing the Republic soldiers to rally and turn the tide of the battle. The tide of the war changed for good with the discovery that Sadow used Force illusions to make his forces appear more numerous than they really were. Buoyed by this knowledge, the Republic Navy rallied at Anaxes and counterattacked at Kirak and Thokos. At the Battle of Kirak, Jedi Master Uru defeated a massed force of Massassi warriors, but sacrificed his life in the process and died in the arms of his Padawan Odin The Republic Navy then moved to support Coruscant's defenses and pushed the Sith forces back to Koros Major. Facing defeat, Sadow pulled his forces back to Primus Golud, but was followed by Jory, Empress Teta, and a large Koros fleet. Realizing that the tide of war had turned against him, Sadow abandoned his embattled forces to the leadership of Gav Daragan and used a Sith superweapon aboard his flagship Corsair to implode the nearby star. Disgusted by Sadow's betrayal, Gav turned against his master. He transmitted the hyperspace coordinates of the Sith Empire to Empress Teta and warned her to leave the system just before Primus Golud went supernova, destroying Naga Sadow's meditation sphere and Gav along with it. Naga Sadow managed to flee back to the Sith Empire, but a living, breathing Ludo Kresh was waiting for him in ambush. Having discovered Sadow's plan to assassinate him, Kresh had allowed the new Sith Lord to think him dead. His attack on Sadow's fortress had been a feint intended to lull Sadow into complacency, but in the end, Kresh's complex plans came to naught. He was killed when one of Sadow's vessels slammed into his own during the frenzied Sith battle over Korriban. The Republic armadas arrived while the Sith fleets battled each other and managed to annihilate them both in the crossfire. Sadow sacrificed the remains of his fleet to ensure his own survival. Destroying his pursuers with tricks and sorcery, he limped away from the engagement aboard his damaged flagship. With Sadow fled, Shah Dakhan became acting Dark Lord. In the aftermath of the battle, Supreme Chancellor Pultimo of the Republic ordered a general invasion of Sith space. The Republic and the Jedi Order then embarked on a military expedition throughout the territories ruled by the Sith Empire to search out all remaining Sith strongholds and destroy them. The attack was temporarily averted when Shah Dakhan ordered suicide attacks, forcing the Republic forces to retreat, but many Sith killed themselves ritually, giving an advantage to the Republic fleet to win the war. At the end of the Great Hyperspace War, inspired by the example of deceased Master Uru, the Jedi Odin founded the Great Museum City upon the planet Ossus. Stored within its countless libraries and vaults were ancient Jedi artifacts gathered by his fallen master, as well as Sith artifacts collected from the wreckage of their invasion fleet. The Sith artifacts included a Sith holocron that Odin had found on a derelict Sith vessel near Koros Major. Over the centuries, Ossus grew to become the premier Jedi library, archive, and academy of the Galactic Republic. Due to her bravery and tactical brilliance during the war, the people of Koros honored their leader, Empress Teta, by renaming their star system after her. By way of thanks for their defense of the Republic, the Galactic Senate donated a sacred mountain on Coruscant to the Jedi Order. Beginning as a small meditative enclave, the Sacred Spire would become the site of the Jedi Temple, the main headquarters of the Order razed after the destruction of the Great Jedi Library on Ossus during the Great Sith War. Some of the Sith were exiled to Ambria, Thule, Tund, and Vyun. Others were shipwrecked to worlds like Kesh without hope to escape. Although the war decimated the Sith species, these exiles ensured the survival of the Sith traditions on these planets. Naga Sadow and his remaining Massassi warriors fled to the remote Yavin system and hid on its fourth moon. There, he used Sith sorcery to place his body in stasis, while his warped Massassi servants slowly degenerated into barbarism. One Sith survivor, Lord Vitiat, returned to his home planet of Nathema and called 8,000 Sith lords to meet him there. Taking control of their minds, Vitiat used the Iokath superweapon Zildrog to conduct a great ritual that consumed them, the planet's population, and the very Force itself, leaving Nathema as little more than a void. Thus empowered, Vitiate abandoned his mortal name and became known only as the Sith Emperor. Blaming the devastation on the Jedi, the Emperor led the remnants of the Empire in a 20-year journey into the unknown regions until they came across the forgotten Sith colony of Dromund Kaas. There, he performed dark rituals, altering the planet's ionosphere into an electrical storm. He rebuilt the Sith forces and bided his time until the Republic was weakened and ready for invasion once more. This culminated in the Great Galactic War between 3681 BBY and 3653 BBY.